You could have everything you want. I know you've probably heard that before and probably didn't believe it, but I'm telling you it's absolutely true, and I know that it's true. I did a session yesterday, and it was a channeling session. It was called Unleash Your Greatness, and it was a great session. You can find it on my YouTube channel. And I listened to it, and I thought, oh, I could have everything that I wanted. See, because what came through in the channeling session is that I was given everything that could cause someone to transform their lives. And then if more of us did that, we would have a really great world. That seemed a little unbelievable, but that's because I didn't want to have everything. Maybe like you. Having everything means that you become your authentic self. And that is a journey that we each move through in our lives. And it's different for every single person. Mine was very different. And it doesn't matter what you've done, what you haven't done, how old you are, none of that matters. It's just when you are ready to take the steps and become your authentic self. And sometimes that's really challenging. I sent out a message earlier to my members, to my list. I said, everyone is born with a gift. Every single person. And that gift is who you are, who you were born to become. Now, we don't get there all the time because of a lot of different reasons. Fear, we're really afraid of ourselves because that's that movement into self-discovery. Judgment, we're fearing what others are going to think of us if we start to own who we are and take those steps into becoming who we're meant to be. And then we will find that if we're not doing that, other things start to go crazy, like you have terrible relationships or you don't have the right job or career. And I know I've done all these things. So I'm going to tell you a story so you'll understand why I'm saying this, because I know that you can absolutely have everything that you want. And the only reason is that you may not want it. You may not want to have the life that you could have. And that's just a real thing. And we've seen so many people throughout times that just never find themselves throughout their entire lives. They just leave this earth and they never find themselves. It's because they're not willing to take that journey into who they are. Now, mine was a little different. I must say, I've had many different careers in my life, and one was a big one that many people knew me from because I was being a vocal coach and I was all over the world. But that was years ago. And see, now I'm 73, and now I'm taking the next step in my life. So it doesn't matter how old you are. It's just when you're willing to accept who you are and become your authentic self. And that's when you will have everything. I started doing something in 1989, which was called automatic writing. I just did it because I just wanted to get some guidance. I didn't know what was going to come from it. Um, and I did it every single day. And then I saved them all. I didn't know why I was doing that. I just felt guided that I was supposed to do that for some reason. And I didn't tell people, but I was moving through so many things in my life that this work was helping me. And then other people started seeing it and then telling me that it was helping them as well. And I thought, okay, but I never wanted to talk about it. I never wanted to put it out there for anyone. And so years went by, and I finally wrote a book. So, because I knew that most people deal with their fear, I had done that. And so I wanted to put that out. I wrote a book on fear. And I still wasn't going to go any further. I was doing all these other careers. And then I knew that I had something that was so valuable for any person. I'm thinking, wait a minute, how am I doing this now? See, because what happened is, as I was doing this work all of these years, and I'm writing it all down, and I knew it was mindset, I knew it was self-actualization, I knew it was some of that, and it was spiritual because I'm connecting to the divine. I knew that was happening, but I did not know what it was going to turn into. And you don't know what you have, that what it could possibly turn into, because we can't know that. It's things that happen as we become willing to take the next step in our lives. That's all. Now, some people will find their careers right away and stay there and they're fine and that's all they're going to do, and that's their entire life and that's it. Um, but I think more people have something else that they're meant to do. And I discovered that I had that. And so when I sent that out saying everyone is born with a gift. The only problem is we don't see ours. We can't see it all the time because it is us. And then if we're not willing to look, we're definitely not going to see it. But then what we might do is also have judgment. And I had a lot of judgment. When I started receiving this work, I wasn't going to tell anyone because it's going to, oh my word, what's going to happen? They're going to judge me because I'm putting things together that business people are looking at and thinking about, but I can't tell them I'm sitting down and receiving cosmic guidance as well along with everything that I've done in my life, all the business things, all the businesses, careers, and all of that stuff. But then this did something else. It connected me to who I was, my authentic self. And then I started to heal. When you hear about mind body healing, I've done so much of it you can't even believe. And I didn't talk about it. I remember going to my doctors many, many years ago, and they're showing me how great all of this stuff was. I said, but I can't talk about it. I don't want to tell people. I've done that a lot. You might have done it too, because we don't believe certain things about ourselves. But when I listened to that session from yesterday about unlike your greatness, I go, okay, maybe it's me, because I'm hearing very clearly that this work I was given everything that could transform someone's life. And it's already been shown. I've already done it, but still accepting that was another bridge I had to cross. But now I'm really crossing it because I did something else. I did an interview that's going to be coming out in probably a couple of months. I'm not sure, but it's going to go to thousands of people where I'm saying basically the same thing. And then later on in the year, I'm doing something else. I'm doing a presentation for like 300 people, and then it's going to go to 180 countries. And I'm the person who was introverted. I'm the person who never wanted this part of my life to be shown or to be out there at all. Except now I know that it's so valuable because I knew that if more people did this work, they'd be happy, they'd be loving themselves. We'd see a very different world. It just happened to come through me. But I held back as well. And now I have to decide, oh, I have to really complete all of this because I haven't even completed all the work that I could put in this program. And the people that I'm working with are transforming like crazy, and I have to catch up. That's really what happens. When we come into the world, we all have something within us that we can develop that would give us everything that we want. But we have to become willing to embody who we are, that authentic self. The reason that you hear so much about authenticity is because most people don't want to do it. It's a little bit too frightening because it's something different. You have to become unique. You have to become your independent self. But when you do that, then you have everything that you want. And I discovered after listening to all of this that what I've actually created is what I call the science of fulfillment, because it is a science. We all operate the same way. We know neuroscience. If we're doing something with our brains, we can change things and all of that. And then if we do all of that, we come into alignment and then we heal and we become happy. Well, I've done all of that after going through every tragedy, every difficulty, every challenge, everything anybody could experience. And that was the part that made it difficult for me to tell people because I thought, they might be suffering. They might be afraid. They might be doing all this and not going to accept this. But I'm telling you, you can accept it. It doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing it every single day for the longest time. But now what I'm going to do is give it back to everyone else, which is the other thing we're meant to do when we come into the world. That's the legacy that we could leave. And if you go to my website, Any Advice for Today, you'll see that over the years, all I was doing was receiving this cosmic guidance, but it was self-actualization and it was personal development, and it all came together. And this is why I'm saying it's a science of understanding your unique life path, because it is there. You have it. And I can always answer your question. That was the other thing that was challenging for me to accept. When you watch the channeling session, you will hear questions that are coming about, and I answer them right away. And if you want other, there was an interview I did more than a year ago. It's on Next Level Soul, and you with Alex Ferrari. You will hear that, and Alex says, "I've worked with a lot of channelers, but you answer right away." That was the gift that I had that I was a little afraid of that I didn't develop. But now I'm doing it. I'm also doing private channelings. I'm doing all of that now because I know it's going to help so many other people. But I want you to know that you can have everything that you want unless you don't want to do that. And I'm saying that because the thing that I'm doing now is I'm only taking, like I mentioned, you might have heard, I'm just taking a few people this weekend into the program because I have to really revamp everything because I'm going to have a lot of exposure, let's just say, and I need to catch up. We're always doing that, catching up with ourselves. That's the only thing we're ever doing, actually. But once you do that, this magical thing starts to happen. You start to feel good. You start to become joyous. You start to become happy and you start to reverse age. All of those things that you've heard about, they are true because I've done them all. I just haven't written them all down. And now that's what I'm going to do because who knows how much time I have. I think I'm going to live for a really long time, but I'm going to get this done now. So you have to decide what you're going to do. And I'm saying this too because now my work is anybody can afford it. I've said that before because they're monthly payments. Anybody can do it. And so, but the problem is you just won't believe yourself. That's all. And I can say that because I've gone through it for years and years and years. I've coached so many people, so I've seen it over and over again. For 35 years, I was coaching people in voice, so I could see the fear that people had about accepting themselves. I could always see that. And so then when I go into this other dimension, I can answer any question, and that's what's gone into my work. But I want you to know that you can have everything that you want if you decide that you're going to become your authentic self. I could have never told you that now, after all of these years, I'm about to move into some expansive thing that I'm going to do that I never saw coming. And actually, I was hiding from it. That's what we do also. We just kind of hide from ourselves. That's the only reason you have any difficulty, any challenge that you have, any lack that you have is your unwillingness to take the steps of becoming your authentic self. But when you do it, your life changes. See you soon.